We're back.
Hello and welcome to episode 141 of the Paropod. You're here with your host, Mark and Owen, yet again for another episode, another week of film chat.
Another bit of shy talk.
Bit of brown town.
I'm gonna.
Well,
Oh, no,
it is.
We're back again.
We're back. Brief intermission.
So
there.
apologies for any technical issues during
Apologies
this episode
if
in
there's
advance.
just random points of where we jump ahead in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a meta commentary on the movies that we've been watching.
Yes.
But how you been on? How's things?
I have been grand, just pure grand. Nothing.
Just tipping away.
Yeah, I'm actually like I said this. I think last episode or something. Oh, I'm gonna start like due to no college and stuff like that, and my work schedule. Movie watching's gonna be back. Movie watching is back.
It's back.
I've watched like quite a few films.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them on the dock. Like I watched Jaws. I rewatched Jaws.
Why?
I don't know.
You're just watching it in your gaff?
Yeah, I just watching the gaff. I was like, I'm just gonna knock on Jaws. Jaws, like I think, I'm not going into too much about Jaws straight away, but like I think Jaws is like a basically like perfect movie until they got onto the boat.
Until they get onto the boat.
Yeah, which is funny
Really?
because most people think that the
That'd be
latter
the
half of the film
reverse.
is better.
Yeah.
But I think just like the build up until they got onto the boat is great, and then when we're on the boat, I'm just like,
Yeah, I remember the boat being quite boring.
It is.
Considering how much is built up in your little head when you're a kid. And then I remember watching and being like, it wasn't really that scary. But then, yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but
that first death in that movie is insane.
the first death,
The
is that at the start, no?
Do you know the when your one goes off skinny dipping and she gets like,
Oh, yeah.
man, that's horrifying. I watching that, I was like, that is like
Nightmare fuel.
horrific.
Yeah,
They're
you wouldn't want that.
screaming, please, I don't want to die, and he gets pulled underneath, and you're like, Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be eaten by a shark now.
No.
Yeah, that is a pretty bad situation to be in. Eaten by a shark. That's why I never go near the sea, you know? I don't really partake in that stuff. I don't be out sea swimming. It's too dangerous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Far too dangerous. Sharks, eddies,
Water.
Just all this
water.
stuff underneath. We talked about this at length before. But, I've watched quite a few things as well. I watched Clue. We discussed Clue before, haven't we? Yeah, so there's no reason to stick it on the agenda. I'm almost certain we did.
At the very least, we talked about the ending.
The end, I thought that was so cool.
It's so cool.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I loved Clue. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it is a really good watch.
Yeah.
It's a very good watch.
I was slayed at the time, of course. What isn't? They used to hate movies back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You never get a movie where everyone's like, that was a piece of shit. Where it's not like very clearly a piece of shit. Like no one ever has like controversial or an opinion that can be controversial in retrospect. But Clue, I thought was very good. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie.
Good laugh. The three endings.
Yeah, it's such a cool
great.
idea.
Yeah,
Such a cool idea.
I love the last ending. That was my favorite ending, where it turns out it's the CIA agents.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best one. And he's the guy from Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. And everyone's great in it. But yeah, I've watched quite a few movies as well. Yeah. So have you watched anything else besides Jaws? That's not on the docket.
I feel like I saw a movie that came out this year. Wait, let me just have a look at my phone real quick. Oh, I watched that Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting what's that called. No Hard Feelings. Oh, that's a good movie. I like that movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I thought it was alright.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I was watching it and I was like, I don't know if I find Jennifer Lawrence funny.
I don't find her funny at all.
Yeah.
I actually don't find her funny.
Even
in
like
any way.
as like a comedic actor, I'd like in a comedic role, I was like, I don't really find you that funny. I don't know why.
She's very one note.
I think that must be what it was. I don't know.
She plays the same character in every movie. She's great in the Hunger Games.
She hasn't been in anything in ages though.
It's because the Weinstein stuff destroyed her career when he got caught. What?
No, go on. If you're saying was she gonna have the Weinstein or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Once Weinstein goes down, Jennifer Lawrence isn't it?
She was like kind of connected to him. All her early movies were through him.
Oh right.
That's just my theory.
Okay, yeah, right. I thought this was like
No, she was an accomplice.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No,
Is Jennifer Lawrence a horrible person I'm not aware of?
No, I'm sure she's not. But I thought that movie was good in the same way, like Anyone But You. Is that what that movie's called with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell? Like, it's a movie that I would have expected to be like, this is a piece of shit. But then I watched it and I was like, actually was laughing away.
Yeah, I think the thing with No Hard Feelings was I never shook this uncomfortable feeling of like the situation that was going on. Because in my head I was like, "Man, if these roles were reversed, this is a very different movie."
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But like, if you're gonna change the roles in this movie, you gotta change the roles in real life. Lies in the power dynamics and stuff like that. So yeah. But regardless, it's still like this is weird. I also watched that new SpongeBob movie.
There's a new SpongeBob movie?
It's dog shit. Don't watch it. SpongeBob is Sandy Cheeks movie. It's not good.
God,
Not good. And I also watched this found footage film called Milk and Cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Cereal with like an S.
Clever.
Yeah, very clever. It's cool. It's like I'm almost certain I've seen the guys in this movie in like Vines or TikToks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a found footage film where it's like two guys that run a prank YouTube channel. And one prank goes out of control and you're like, oh god, this is horrible. And then you find out, oh, this cereal is cereal for serial killer. And it's all planned, and it's like this insane performance by the main guy who plays Milk. And it's just like this really unique found footage film made for like 100 grand or 10, 50 grand, whatever much it was made for. Editor's note. This movie was not made for 100 grand or 10 grand, as I had said while recording. It was made for $100. 800. So this film needs to be given more props than what I was initially saying. And it's really cool. I think it's on YouTube for free, so I think people should watch it. It's like an hour long. Yeah, it's creepy as well. That's the other thing. It's like kind of real freaky. And yeah, they made it for like a shoestring budget.
Very cool.
But that's all I have to say about that film. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Have you watched anything else?
I watched rewatch Click.
I want to rewatch Click.
Yeah.
I keep getting TikToks of it. I'm like, I think I need to watch that film.
Yeah, it's like it's like No Hard Feelings, and it's nothing like that movie. But it's the same kind of thing, where it's like this should be a piece of shit, but it's like it's actually pretty good. But it is still completely all over the place as well. Like it's
all a dream. Don't worry about it.
It's such a mess. Yeah, it's all a dream, man. It's such a complete mess of a movie, and yeah, like it doesn't work without like Adam Sandler and like everyone who's in it. It's that kind of thing. Like if you put other people in the role, the movie would just be objectively shit.
Yeah.
And then the random things about like it's like set like it jumps forward into the future and it's like 2019. Everyone has like flying cars and stuff. It's great. It's very funny.
I always think that like if Click was made by someone like Charlie Kaufman, it'd be the most fucked up horrible film ever.
Yeah.
Because it goes to that. It
does go really
goes there.
quite dark. Yeah.
And then reverses, being like, oh, don't worry about it. It's all okay. It's all a dream. However, as Kaufman's like, no, you're gonna live with this. You're gonna live with this consequence.
Because it really does follow kind of the concept into like maybe a darker place than films like that usually would.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people remember it, because it is a bit of an emotional movie. It's pretty good.
I always remember for the fast forward and true sex bit. That's all I remember for.
Yeah, it's funny. There's some good gags, some very good gags.
But I believe, Mark, we have both watched Kneecap.
We both have. So I'm told.
Yes.
I saw Kneecap the other day in the Omniplex in Rathmines.
I saw it on National Cinema Day in Odeon Coolock.
Very good.
We walked into Odeon Coolock on National Cinema Day, and my heart bled for the people that were working in the concession stand. I was like, God bless you. There was queues. Oh my God. What do you think of Kneecap?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very, very energizing.
Yeah,
very energizing. It was maybe the cinema was maybe half full, but we only went to Omniplex because the Stella was fully booked out. There was another one. I think it was the IFI was fully booked out as well. So it's quite a popular movie. People are going to see it,
which is good.
Good to see. And yeah, there's great energy in the crowd, which is bizarre for like. It's just very strange that you have like any kind of energy in the crowd at all. And the film itself is very, very full of energy as well, in a way. And it's it's relevant. It's such a trite thing to say. It's so relevant, man. So
relevant.
But like it is.
We're gonna say about a film later on, which I recommend film, but we'll get on.
Yeah. But like in a, like it's not like relevant in a fucking young offenders or Mrs. Brown's Boys kind of way, like that kind of way.
That was
something else about it.
Like when the film like started, I was like, are we kind of going for like this like
edgy? We're we're
we're
cool. We're Irish.
We're not like RTE. That kind of shit.
The middle finger to the man.
But when the moment that I was like, I think we're in safe hands was when you had DJ Pro V walking with the principal, and he's like, you need to get updated Irish books because these kids don't care about the famine and growing potatoes. And he's like, they are the updated textbooks. It's like that. Yes, because now I know you guys get it. You understand that like the way that we teach Irish is completely just outdated. Like it's just not relatable. But I thought like this is easily one of my favorite Irish films, and probably this actually might be my favorite Irish film. Earl of Hunger as well, but like this is different.
Yeah, I feel it's very like there's a lot of trite things to say. It's like unapologetic. It's brash. It's in your face.
It's punk.
It's punk, man.
I don't know why I
get over it.
I can't the fingers like every time I'm saying something here.
It's just it's real in your face kind of Jack the Lad kind of. But it's just it's hard to explain that because so many people say things about movies. Or like just random, like any piece of media that's produced in Ireland that isn't complete dog shit. People are like, this is like the voice of a generation. This is I can't believe someone in Ireland made this. I
can't believe someone made Normal People. It's crazy.
Yeah. But like it's very like it deals with the subject very, very well. Like the whole idea, the sectarianism, the troubles, and like Belfast, and it doesn't really. It's not bogged down in like the old ideas, and like it makes that very clear. Unless you like the first sequence of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the troubles is like this, but not for everyone. Like
yeah, and he just fast forwards, and he's like, oh, this is this is where we are now. It's well narrated, and it's like the Irish in it feels very like organic as well. It's not like I don't know. The film doesn't really feel forced, though. It nearly should. Yeah, like, I feel like it should. Like when when we started watching it, or when it began, and there's the first few jokes, and I was like, see how this gets on, and it's just getting started, but like it really gets into a flow, and like it doesn't feel forced at all. It feels very, very natural. It feels like a really like organic voice and point of view as well, and it doesn't really shy away from maybe like. What they, because they're very outspoken artists, and it doesn't shy away from that at all. Yeah. Without being, making that the central focus of the movie. It's like it's about other stuff as well. It's just about, it's not just about like, oh, we're against the man and all this stuff. It's about all these other things. And it's a good drama movie anyway. Yeah. And like coming of age kind of thing. Like it's way better than I really expected it to be. Yeah. Same. Because a lot of people had seen it, and they all kind of said the same thing when I was asking about it, that it was like that it was good, but it wasn't really anything that you hadn't seen before. So I was expecting to walk in and see like Young Offenders the movie or something. Yeah. And it's just like I didn't have high hopes, but it's like it was just on a different level altogether. Yeah, I think that is because I'd ask people I'd seen, it's like, oh, what's it like? Like, oh, it's good. Yeah, like it's like, oh no, yeah, it's good. It's like, I don't know. I think it deserves way more praise than that. Yeah, I think the three lads from Kneecap are like really good actors. They are. They're like really surprisingly good. Like really good actors. You have Michael Fassbender in it as well. He's also really good. He does a really good job what he needs to do. Which is like so funny because in my head I was like, why is Michael Fassbender in this movie? And then I remembered, oh yeah, he's in Hunger as well. He plays Bobby Sands.
So, you know, makes kind of sense that he's in this movie.
He's been there before.
I feel like this guy might have some opinions on the Irish state.
Fassbender.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, maybe he does.
And also, you know, and like this is like a celebration of the Irish language. It's a celebration of like youth culture and all that type of stuff. And like, yeah, just I think they have a point. I'm really hoping. I don't know if this was. It's either in the movie or it was. I think it's in the movie, or it could be something that they said like outside the film. But they basically said like hip hop gave a voice to African Americans in America during the time, and you know, Kneecap are like, we're taking hip hop and throwing Irish language on it to express ourselves and stuff like that, to give a voice to the Irish people. I'm like, it's cool like that.
Yeah, that's they said that in the movie, I think. Yeah,
I couldn't remember if I saw that in an interview or in the film. But also the music is so good in this movie.
The music is amazing.
Like even outside like their own tunes, like they have like the Prodigy play at one stage, I'm pretty certain. You have like Glue by Bicep plays at one stage.
Yeah.
The drug sequences are so fucking funny.
Yeah.
The bit where like he's fishing in the bin, he comes out and he has the ass and it's like
Yeah, and it's all done in a way that isn't. It's not like cringe worthy.
Yeah,
somehow I don't know how they managed to do that, but I didn't find it.
I think it's the style, the way that the style of it all, just like
Yeah, and the movie is so stylized and has like animations and stuff popping in, and, like, you know, like bubbles and stuff. It's a weird mixture of form, but it doesn't feel forced again somehow, because they make it feel really, really real, man. Like it actually does. It does click, and there's like a serious velocity to everything that's happening. It's like everything feels. There's a huge amount of energy in the movie.
Yeah.
So you know when you walk out of a movie. When I walk out of a Mission Impossible movie, I feel like I could fucking take on the world. I could go to the moon, you know? And a lot of movies don't feel like that. After Kneecap, I was like, I feel amazing. I'm walking out of that.
I'm going to download Duolingo. I'm going to start learning Irish.
Yeah. Literally, me and Orla walking home, I was like, I need to learn Irish.
Man, I was feeling like that as well. I feel like I need to learn Irish.
Yeah.
Like, I think like one of the things that's so good about this film is every character has something going on, and every scene is progressing that. So you have like Mowgli Bop with his dad, and also the scenes with Michael Fassbender, who's also like developing in a certain way. DJ Provy and his wife or girlfriend, and they're developing their own thing. You have Mokara is the other fella, and his stuff with the unionist girl, which is so fucking funny. Chuggy Arla. And then you have her, like the police woman as well, and she also has something going on. And you also have Mowgli Bop's mom, and like every character, every time you switch to something, we're progressing something further, and we're moving in ways that you don't expect to move. Like that whole stuff with the radical Republicans against drugs.
That's very good. Yeah.
That bit is so fucking funny.
That's it's very well done, and like they again, like they are, it's kind of a joke group, but it's you know, it's part of the plot, and it's very well developed, and it's
also like there's a truth to that, because the IRA do act like that as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I think it ties in well. Like at the start, and they go on about it was something about drugs being like you know, what was it, like a way for young people to cope in Ireland, and like the new era, like the post Troubles era, or something like that. Like whereas back in the 80s, like that would have been like the RAD, like the real or the Radical Republicans Against Drugs, like that would have been like the RAD used to go around like kneecapping drug dealers and like heroin dealers and all that stuff. Like that was a real thing. It was like, I don't know, just being clean cut and like focused on the struggle and all these things.
But now the struggle is over.
And now there's like it's maybe it's not over. It's just it's something different altogether, and there's different ways to kind of approach that. I think maybe is what I kind of took from that. And it's well developed, and like the kind of the RAD as a kind of an old force that were just kind of like a joke, and they make a joke out of it. It's very well done. And even like the way it's the execution at the end, like the kind of the resolution to that kind of plot line with Mowgli Bop's dad coming in at the end. That's also very, very funny, but also like really well tied up. And like as we were saying, every character is moving forward. It's in every single scene. They're all very well developed. They all have their own motivations, their own even like Mowgli Bop's Ma. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Like no, there's no need really. Like they didn't need to make her such a well-developed character.
Yeah, she is.
To be a great movie,
Mm-hmm.
she did need to be, and like that's what they did. They made like she's really like she's fully realized as a character in her own right.
Yeah, because like when I was watching the film, I was like, oh yeah, like she's sad in the house, whatever. Like she'll get out of the house. Like that's where it's gonna end up. But then she ends up getting out of the house to spread gossip, and that being like how like RTE gets like thousands and thousands of people like complaining against them. I was like, that's like just like neatly ties all these like plot threads together. And like, yeah, it is like a fictionalized version of real events. I'm sure there's like some truth in it.
Yeah, how much of that is true?
I don't know. I like some of it. Like some of the headlines that they show in the film,
they're real. Yeah,
they are like real. Like
yeah.
like Kneecap playing in a venue
Empire,
the day after Prince Charles and
William and Kate were in the
William and Kate were in there, and they played Get Your Brits Out and stuff like that happened.
Yeah. I didn't know DJ Provi was like an older guy.
He's a good bit older.
I'd know it because I never seen him live. I just thought like he didn't want to show his face. He's like the other guy in the like Blind Boy's accomplice. He's not really like interested in being out there.
I Blind Boy the whole time.
Yeah. But he's really good because I didn't like twig that he was actually part of Kneecap until halfway through the movie.
Like you only think it's the two young fellas, yeah.
Yeah, I only think it's the two lads. Yeah.
I think I was the same way because even when I saw them, like I got to see them at EP 2019, which is one of the clips that they show in this film. It was EP 2019.
Oh yeah, at the end, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought I was only like the two fellas, and I think afterwards I realized, oh, there's three of them. I didn't realize that DJ Pro V was like the guy that's in it. But sure, like just like Kneecap are huge now, and I think a lot of this film has to help with that. But like I just think like they just keep getting bigger, and I think this film's gonna help with that. And it's cool to see.
I think it's going forward for the Oscar for Ireland, isn't it?
Did you see? Have you ever seen? They posted that on Instagram.
Which
that they were being put forward by the Irish film to be like Ireland's nomination for like best actors or like supporting actors or
best foreign language film.
Yeah, definitely foreign language film. Yeah. Did this? No. This didn't win the Palme d'Or. No, did it? No. Did I make that up?
Did it what?
This didn't win the Palme d'Or or anything like that, did it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think so. Maybe just got like a standing ovation of Cannes or something.
Yeah.
But they had posted. I can't remember what it was. They got nominated for something by the Irish film for the Academy, and they just posted it being like, these acting cunts are well pleased. Like first time doing this, and these are well pleased.
Yeah. They perform so well. It's just weird.
Especially
it is so weird.
Like his Mogulbap is acting against Michael Fassbender, and like he's holding his own. Like
yeah. I was thinking that in the scene where he's in the car with him.
I thought the exact same thing.
I was like, Jesus, that must be very intimidating. Even though you're famous in your own right, but like you're acting in a confined space with Michael Fassbender. In a movie about you, like it must be a lot of pressure. But he really he pulls it off. Like, yeah, they should be nominated for. I don't know if they get nominated for like acting awards at the Oscars, but they should get foreign language. So yeah, 100%.
Like
the Americans eat this up.
Oh yeah,
it's Irish. Oh, what?
They're speaking Gaelic.
yeah. Oh my God, this film's in Gaelic. They'll love it. They'll lap it up. But it is genuinely a really good movie. Didn't expect it to be that good. Did not expect it at all.
100%.
And it's music is great, and you come out and you're like, let's go, let's go. Let's get the Brits out. Then I went to bed and woke up for my office job the next day.
And I was like, oh yeah. Could be ours.
It's very good.
This film's inspired me to buy a balaclava. That's all I'm saying.
A balaclava, yeah. Actually, might get tricolor balaclava. Pretty cool.
That's not the only film that we've both seen though this week, Mark.
That's true. That's a fact. This is a film that I saw on National Cinema Day.
Oh, okay.
Alien Romulus.
Yes, the new Alien movie.
Yes, indeed. I saw it in Omniplex Rathmines yet again. Packed cinema. I think it was completely full because it was National Cinema Day. It was like a zoo. People running around. There's popcorn everywhere. You know, it was like people screaming and stuff. We came into we were mad late, 20 minutes late. We came into like, you know, the lobby area. I was like, it was like a crowd. It was like a football crowd. Like
That's
people,
the exact same thing up on Kulak.
yeah, it was so weird. And we got into the thing, and pitch black, so annoying.
I hate when that happens.
Pitch black, fumbling around the dark, sweating balls. Movie's already started. But no, like the film itself is it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I also have a story for how I went to go see this film.
Let's see.
I saw this film last week. As you remember, I told on the last episode talking about the HHC stuff, being like, won't ever touch that
You
again.
didn't do that again, did you?
No. Someone
You
reached,
relapsed.
one of my mates told me like, you need to get these ones from this spot.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get these ones from this spot. Went, got them, tried them out. Now these were way more mellow. I genuinely think I might have just got dodgy ones. I got the. Do you know where I got
You've
the ones?
got those fentanyl vapes.
Bro, I got the ones that you know that the vape shop off Temple Bar Square. Not Temple Bar Square, the bank.
The bank?
It used to be Central Bank.
I don't know it.
There's like a fucking like vape shop and he sells like skin stuff like that. Got them there. I went in again trying to see if I was like, do you have like anything less? And he's like, we don't do the jellies. He said, we don't do jellies. And I was like, my head was like, I got them here last time. I feel like
What are you talking about?
I didn't say this to him. I was like, I feel like I might not have been. I don't think you were. I don't think those were HHCs. I think that's what might have happened.
What was it?
I don't know. I feel like they said HHC, bro.
Could have been anything.
The difference between the two that I got, because then I went to a more legitimate establishment, and the guy was way more friendly and talking about like all the different types and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, go for these ones." Got these ones. They were so much better, way more mellow. Wasn't stoned for 2 days. Wasn't having a panic attack or anything like that.
Imagine you taking them, gone to see Alien Romulus in like IMAX or something like that.
I think I would have cried.
Yeah, it was spinning out your head. Yeah.
So I went. I was off work on a Tuesday, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do the day before, and I was like, oh, I'll go to the cinema by myself. That sounds fun. And Alien Romulus was showing at 3:10 on a fucking Tuesday in their Galactic screen up in Santry.
Oh.
I was like, perfect, grand.
Yeah.
Went to book my tickets. There's no tickets already sold for this. I was like,
no tickets.
No tickets. So I was like, I'm going to walk in
God.
here and I'm going to be the only person. Perfect. So I take my gummies and I go up and I get to the cinema at 3:00 and I go to go to open the door. The door says push. I push. It does not open. I pull. It does not open. The HHC gummies are starting to kick in.
Uh-oh.
I try another door. That also doesn't work. And so I stand back. I'm like, the cinema is closed. I was like, am I here at the wrong time? I check my phone. No, it's 3:00. I look at my tickets. It says 3:10. I look up at the board in front of me and I realize that the 3:10 showing of Alien Romulus is the first showing of the entire day. So they haven't actually opened up the cinema yet.
Oh.
So they eventually open up the cinema. I go in.
For this one guy to get to.
I felt
this weird stone guy to get to his alien.
I felt like a fucking freak.
On a Tuesday afternoon.
I have never been more conscious of myself in my entire life. I went up to the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm here to see Alien Romulus. I got this.
You'd hope so. The first show of the day. Something else on.
I walk up because I ordered it like the night before. I was like, oh, I'll order the student meal deal because it's only an extra like $2.50 and I get like popcorn and drink, whatever that. I regretted that moment because I had to go up and interact with someone.
Oh,
and I was
God,
like, yeah, I have the student meal deal. She's like, yeah, cool. And she was like, what drink do you want? I was like, Coke Zero. And she looks at me dead in the eyes like, we don't have Coke Zero.
You just burst into tears.
Diet Coke. He's like, yeah, okay. And she pours me. She's like, screen one. I'm like, thank you. I go to screen one. I walk in. The place is fucking empty. Completely empty. And I sit down on my seat, dead center, middle of the screen. Perfect. I watch the trailers. Everything's going grand. I'm coming up pretty fucking hard right now. And then 3 people walk in just as the movie's about to start.
That's so annoying. That's sickening.
I know. I was like, you have ruined my buzz.
Who were they?
3 cunts, I don't know. 3 losers gonna go see Alien Romulus on fucking Tuesday at 3:10. But I enjoyed Alien Romulus. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I think it's like the 4th best Alien movie. I don't think that's saying much.
The 4th best.
I think
Yeah,
Prometheus, and Aliens is better.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. That's very, very reasonable. I kind of I agree. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say though, isn't it? That it's the 4th best in this massive franchise.
Yeah, this is like the 8th one or
Yeah,
something, 9th one. I think it's the 9th one.
Yeah, but like, it's pretty good. It's kind of weird though because it's not really. I don't know. It's a sci-fi horror movie that seems to be kind of in the Alien universe rather than something
rather than being an
alien movie. You know, and that's a very people say that a lot these days. But I think there's a lot. There's another movie that's like that as well that we watched recently. I can't remember, but like it does happen where it's just it doesn't feel like this was. I feel like it could nearly have been written not as an alien movie and then it's kind of like pieced back together. But yeah, it's what's her name? Rain. Rain's trapped on a mining planet.
Yeah.
With her brother, who's an android. And he's like a decommissioned android or something like that, and he's like scrap.
He's a speech impediment and stuff like that.
Yeah, he just has a speech impediment. So like, yeah, he's fucking useless, and they put him on the scrap heap. She's taking him in. She's on this mining planet where there's no sun, and
I thought that was really cool.
Good way to set it up.
I thought the whole sequence was really cool at the start. Because like when I was watching, I was like, I don't think we've seen like
anything else in the alien universe.
Anything like we've just been in space. Outside like moments in Prometheus and like Covenant when you're like on the planets, or like I think in Prometheus you're on Earth at one stage. But like we haven't seen like a city in like this dystopian world.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, Alien Covenant and Prometheus are like years and years and years
in the past
before Alien, because this one takes place before Alien and Aliens. That's where this one lies in the timeline.
Yeah, this is just after, what was it? A few decades after Prometheus. And she's on this mining planet. I thought it was cool. It gives a little insight into like dystopian economy. It's like Weyland-Yutani basically own this planet and there's mining it. And they have all these indentured servants there who basically can't leave. I think like Rain fulfills her contract and she goes up and she's like, oh, I'm done, or like I'm about to be done my contract, or it's already expired or something. And the lady behind the desk is like, oh,
we've upped the quota.
It's like, oh, actually, no, you can leave another, 6 years, something like that, 6 or 7 years, or something more than that.
And you're going into the mine. She was doing something else. It's like, you're going into the mines, so you're definitely going to die.
Yeah. It's like, it's bleak. So she's like, I have to get off this planet. She finds a lot of, like, a ragtag team of young adults, and they're like, let's get the hell off this rock.
I'm not joking. As soon as I saw that group of people, I was like, you're dead. You're maybe dead.
Yeah.
You are definitely dead.
I was surprised by how quickly a lot of them died, though. I thought they'd kind of hang on for a bit.
That's one of my complaints about the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the deaths come quick and fast.
They're kind of straight into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly into it.
Like when things start off, like it's just boom, now we're gone.
Yeah. And like the last third of the movie is nearly just because
no deaths.
Yeah, it's just the same few characters hanging around, but they hijack or they just steal this ship which is capable of like interstellar flight, and they're going to go to some different system where it's humans only, and so it's a free zone and stuff.
It's paradise.
But they need to, and I think it's cool when they get onto the ship and they've like lifted off. But they're like, we need to get to the power supply for the sleepers.
They do the thing that's in like, I think it's in like Interstellar.
It's in like video games and all.
It's in like Interstellar. I think the Martian, they have to like rotate in time with the spacecraft that they're trying to get attached to.
Oh yeah.
I love when films do that.
Yeah, they need to dock, but like they're just a ragtag team of kids just trying to make their way off this rock. And yeah, I think that whole sequence is pretty cool. Like just the start of the movie to
when they get onto the ship,
to when even when they're on the ship and they're like, we need to get to this point, we need to get here, and it's like a video game where it's like we need to get through all these levels.
Do you know what this film is really heavily inspired by?
Dead Space,
Alien Isolation, which is a video game.
Yeah,
heavily inspired.
That really makes sense because it did feel like a video game where they're, but like in a kind of a good way.
Yeah, it's like, we got this, and there's something bad has happened, so we have to go here.
Yeah. So we got the we got this magical amulet or whatever, so now we have the power to do this. They're trying to get to the power source for the cryo sleepers or whatever, or trying to get to the cryo sleepers, and everything goes wrong, and in the meantime they run across a load of aliens, or not aliens, they run across a load of facehuggers because it's a decommissioned, what was it, like, I don't know, science ship or something.
Yeah, it's like a science ship where
they're doing experiments and stuff.
They had picked up the original alien from the first Alien.
Yeah.
And extracted its juice and now have made replicants of it or something like that. And then, yeah, it's an alien movie, so they got loose and they fucking tore the fucking spaceship apart.
What was it doing just floating there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a few things in this movie where I was like, when did that was that explained? And then you think about it, I was like, was it explained? And it's hard to figure out if they were explained or not.
Part of it because, like, this is like a super duper important, like,
it's Black Ops.
Like, fast forward to the end of the movie, the Prometheus gene is on this spacecraft, which is going to collapse into the rings of the planet that they're on, and like just be completely destroyed. Yet, like, Weyland-Yutani, like the people that own this, have just left it, and it just happens per chance that a android has gone up and has to gets a chip put into his brain that makes him smarter again, and now he's gonna retrieve this super important serum, but like no one
else had to do it.
Like they're floating above a mining planet owned by Weyland-Yutani, and no one else was gonna go up to get this shit.
Yeah. It's not like they knew what was happening. Like, this is after Prometheus.
This is after Alien.
After Alien.
This film takes place after Alien.
Yeah.
And before Aliens. Yeah.
But they know exactly what's been done on the ship. They know everything.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, we lost contact with the ship. Oh well. Would you not go look for the ship? That was this, incredible thing on it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's not really explained very well because I can't remember any reason why it's not explained or why that happened in the movie. But I still think it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's there's just certain things that it's like it's kind of cutting corners. And maybe that's kind of forgivable because it is still enjoyable and still kind of makes sense as a movie.
It has shown me things in a alien movie that I haven't never really seen before. I think my expectations were pretty high because the director of this
Fede Alvarez
did
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. He did. Yeah,
he did the Evil Dead remake, which I think is like one of the best horror remakes of all time. And I was like, oh, like an Evil Dead remake, gore level with Alien sounds fucking sick, specifically for the chest bursting scene. I was like, I'm all in for it.
Yeah.
But then, you get the age rating coming up at the start. I never noticed that this film was 16s. I was like, oh, right, I don't think I'm going to get that movie.
It's still fairly gory.
Oh, it is. Like,
it's still quite gory.
I was like, when your one picks up the X-ray scanner and she scans her arm, I was like, oh, I can't wait for that to be used when you're getting chest bursted.
Yeah.
And she gets chest bursted and you see it in like an X-ray and it's fucking so brutal. And I was watching, I was like, I can't remember the last time. Like, I think there's chest bursting in Alien Covenant, but I can't really remember it. Because there's an actual alien in Alien Covenant, but I don't remember there ever being the chest bursting in that. If there was one, it wasn't memorable. So like this one, and like I think this is the second best chest burst in any Alien film. I said the first one because the first one was like just the best of all time. But I think this is the second best chest burst in any Alien movie. Not only because it's an X-ray, because it goes on for so long. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like
I can like not feel it, but like, oh, that would suck. That would suck.
Or even I think the acid blood was used. Yes. 0G acid blood, and even when your man, his or her fella, is just like he's like lashing out at the aliens. He's like stabbing the aliens,
He's
like
stabbing
egg
big-
sack.
Yeah, which looks like a big vagina.
Yeah. It's like it's going back to the origins of the series.
Yeah,
it's all about that stuff.
I mean, there's a huge emphasis.
Psychosexual stuff.
Huge emphasis on the face huggers in this film.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Huge
100%,
emphasis
yeah.
on acid blood and face huggers.
Yeah.
Which because I think in this film it's flipped where I think the original film is like really focused on like like male rape and stuff like that. This one is very female focused. There's a pregnant woman throughout the entire film, and you have her stuff with her kid later on, which is the big twist at the end. But as you're saying, the acid blood, like that 0G scene was
That's
fucking
great.
sick.
But yeah, the initial one where it's like kind of it's showcased for the first time, where it's your man stabbing the alien vagina, and then the alien kind of starts popping out like the alien egg or whatever. The blood's just alien's not really doing anything. The blood's just dripping, and your man's his hands start dissolving, and it drops. It just drops onto his chest, and it's just like going through his body. It's like because he can't get away from that.
Yeah.
It's acid blood. You can't stop it.
Really cool emphasis on acid blood, which is like something that like is like mentioned in the first film, but I don't think anyone ever dies.
Yeah, it's not really a big thing.
Yeah,
they turn it. They really, they make a good thing out of it in this movie. I thought it was used very well. The 0G scene is great because they're like, watch out! Watch out!
Shoots up into the edge and
like,
comes back down. Yeah.
I
thought that was really cool. There's a lot of like really cool sequences in this.
That would have been great in 3D.
Yeah. Whoa! 4DX is spraying fucking shit. Just sprays acid in your face.
Acid. What the fuck? You have to actually dodge it. Shit.
But I think the other like big positive about this film is how it looks and how it sounds.
How it looks and what do you?
When the film, I think it's at the start of the film, or near enough near the start of the film, when all the computers are turning on, and it's all that like, it's that like, and like there's the bit where they're like walking through this fucking dumbass scene, which actually turns out to be stupid when they're walking through the corridor, and they're like, we're gonna turn the room up to be your body temperature, so don't panic and don't sweat too much because you need to maintain heat with the room. And be quiet. And then the guy just picks up the phone and starts having a fucking phone call with someone. So some fucking stupid shit in this movie. But like I think it looks gorgeous, and as like it sounds like an alien film. The screech of the aliens stuff like that's like, oh yeah, we're back.
Yeah, like it's well worth a watch. I thought like compared to Alien Covenant, just dog.
Yeah,
this is very good. What did you think of the ending? Of should we talk about the ending? Should
we're full
spoilers on
full
this.
spoilers.
What do you think? What do you think the end surprise?
That was alright.
I thought the movie was ending.
And
it's like, this is just it just keeps going.
Yeah,
that's like this huge chase. I was like, I appreciate the twist, and I love the tie-in with Prometheus because there's this whole thing where your woman is pregnant and you think she's dead, but she's actually not dead. She's somehow alive, and
she puts the goo in her.
But she's got that goo in her. And it's the alien goo, and it's the Prometheus gene, which was on the ship, and it's like the whole thing happens, and they're like it's her, Rain, and the android left, and they're like they're going to sleep before they head off to this new world. We're going to start a new life, and it's a human paradise, and it's a free zone. And then, she gives birth. She suddenly gives birth. It's very unexpected. And the baby is like, it's like a little, or it's like an egg. She gives birth to like an alien egg. An alien egg.
There's a little baby in it.
But inside is a little white baby. And it's like, what the fuck's happening here? And I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on for fucking ages.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I had seen, because so she gives birth to a xenomorph and like a more human, because xenomorphs are made from humans, but it's like a more human xenomorph. I don't know how to describe it.
It's an engineer xenomorph.
Yeah. Do you know that dude? Have you ever seen that dude?
The real guy.
The real guy.
It's a real guy.
Yeah, it's a real guy that's actually that fucking tall.
Yeah.
He's like the guy from fucking It Follows.
Yeah, it is literally him, isn't
No,
it?
it's not. It's a different dude.
It's not
This
him,
guy's like a basketball player.
Yeah.
But I had seen clips of him like in the suit and stuff like that on TikTok, being like, "This is a real dude." So when that film was like, when it's like like wrapping up and stuff like that, I was like, "Oh shit, yeah!" There's still meant to be this fucking massive alien dude coming into this film. Oh, it's doing that thing that Alien does, where you think the film's wrapping up, and then no, we got one more final fight to go.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright. I thought it had like one of the best scares in the entire film, which is that first person bit where she's like crawling up the rope and then he just like jumps out at her.
Yeah,
I thought that was fucking cool.
That got everyone, yeah.
But like I thought it was alright. There's like my biggest problem with this film is the necessity for this film, or like the felt necessity for this film to call back to everything in other films. Like I didn't really need it to tie into Prometheus all that
Apparently
much.
it ties into Alien Resurrection as well. Somehow. I can't remember how. I wish I did, but I'm not going to look it up now.
It was the clone, the white alien, and that's the clone of Ripley. And it's like she's the mother to it, and it starts going like, like crawling up to her and stuff like that.
I don't remember.
Do you remember that? He was an alien, got sucked out through a fucking hole, and he got like guts spurted out everywhere.
I don't
Alien
remember.
Resurrection is a shit film. I'm not surprised you don't remember. And I think that's how it ties into that.
Okay.
And it ties into Prometheus. And then there's just bits in the film where like I don't need that. Like I really didn't need someone to say, "Get away from her, you bitch," while they kill an alien. I really didn't fucking need that. It was eye rolling. And the android
Yeah. Ian Holm resurrected.
did not need that.
Apparently that's completely, or it's not completely, it's almost entirely practical. But they AI CGI, they CGI the lips. But the whole thing looks completely fake.
It looks terrible.
It's very off-putting. Even when they have him on the screen, he's not directly on camera. It still looks weird. Like it's
so unnecessary. It's like, why didn't you use...
They could just had They could have had fucking Michael Fassbender or something. Obviously, that would have cost more probably.
Bro, literally, like, why not have it be Michael Fassbender so it ties more back into Covenant and stuff like that, and like Prometheus. Like, I don't know why, because like I was watching it and like immediately I was like, I don't like this. Like that was so unnecessary and it looks like shit.
And when the reveal that it's him, like when he's like at first he's slumped up over in the.
You don't know who it is.
He's on the floor and it's just like a kind of a It's an android that's been like cut in half essentially, and he's been deactivated for years, and eventually he wakes up, and like he looks up and it's like da 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 da. It's Ian Holm.
Yeah,
it's your man from fucking Alien 1, and it's like didn't really need that. It wasn't really necessary in the movie, but what can you do?
Yeah, I was sitting there like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like. I don't really care.
I don't care. Like,
I don't really care.
I don't know. Is there people watching this being like, oh, that's a good movie?
There were. People were doing backflips in the States. It's crazy. You know? But why didn't the main character, your one in Prometheus, what's her fucking name? Shaw. Why wasn't her baby a little alien engineer hybrid as well? Because she had the same thing going on where she had the goo in her. And she was.
I think maybe.
Well, she wasn't pregnant at all, was she?
Yeah, she wasn't. She was pregnant,
but she wasn't because she was infertile. That was the whole thing.
Oh yeah. She also had sex with someone that had the goo in them. She didn't have the goo straight injected into her.
So if you only have half of the goo, then you get
this weird tentacle baby. I guess. I don't know, man. This fucking franchise is a mess.
Someone needs to clean this up.
Yeah, I didn't need any of that. Like, I thought like it was fun as like an alien movie.
It's pretty good.
But not the best thing in the world. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's alright.
Do you want to talk about our final installment in the original Planet of the Apes? Fucking hell, I can't remember what this thing was called.
Why not?
Planet of the Apes, and then we can go on break because I don't think we're gonna have a lot to say about this movie.
Yeah. Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth installment.
Fifth and final installment
of the original Planet of the Apes movies. This is like 1977, I think.
it's only 73.
Is it?
It's literally like 5 years after the first movie. Like,
Jeez, they really pumped these movies out.
yeah. They just kept going.
You can tell that they pumped these movies out as well.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like this movie.
Yeah,
This is easily the worst one.
It's pretty shit. It's like, it's just so boring.
Boring.
It's just so boring. It's actually, it's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a remake of this movie.
Nearly,
Nearly exactly. It's
Yeah.
nearly the exact same plot. It even has, because this follows Caesar as well, and he's led off the apes just after the apocalypse, to like a compound where they can live freely, but there's humans there, and the humans
can't say no.
the humans they're like "Oh," and they're gonna fight them, and the usual kind of thing. But also he sees dissent within his own camp, and he has
With
what-
Orlo.
Aldo. Yeah, well, that's a weird thing, because in the original movie he's going on about there was an ape called Aldo who said he said no or whatever. Or was
Yeah.
there something he mentions him in the first
Aldo,
movie?
yeah,
Or was that
Aldo.
the second movie? But he
No,
mentions
it's-
Aldo first before
No, it's
Caesar.
the third movie, bro.
No, it's just like the second movie where he's explaining.
No, yeah, it's like there was
Oh,
an
no,
ape
sorry.
called Aldo,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
said no.
Yeah. But like, Aldo didn't say that.
Aldo didn't say that. And like,
He didn't say
very,
that.
very clearly, everyone's talking about Caesar. I don't know. Like, that's
Because they made the choice to call him Aldo in this, but I'm not sure why. But anyway, this movie is basically Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but like dog shit.
I'm
Like,
worse in every single way. So boring.
it's not dog shit. It's just so boring.
Yeah.
It's like, it's called Battle of the Planet of the Apes, and you expect. I think the setup isn't terrible, because it is. It was setting itself up, and I was like, this is just Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I was interested to see how it play out, but like, it's just boring. Nothing
Boring.
really happens. There is a battle that goes on for fucking 20 minutes.
And it's shit. It looks like shit.
It's muck.
It looks
It's
like a fucking. You said it beforehand. It looks like a reenactment.
It looks like a reenactment of a battle that didn't happen. It looks like
Shit. Fucking trucks driving around.
the trucks drive around, and then there's a lot of guns, and then there's an explosion, and then you see the trucks driving around again, and then there's a lot of guns, and there's an explosion, and they're fighting each other. And it's like, oh, when is this gonna end?
Yeah.
It just keeps going and going. Like there's really not a lot to say about this movie.
Yeah. Like, you even have the stuff about the mutant humans in
Yeah.
the nuclear,
They're off
Like
in
wrecked.
the no-go zone or whatever it's called.
which is like from the second film, and it's done like somehow less interestingly from that second film, and it wasn't even interesting in that second film either. There's literally nothing to talk about in this movie.
The title actually does sum it up. Battle for the Planet of the Apes. There's a battle.
And it needs to be important. Like, obviously, there's a war with the Planet of the Apes. That is like a kind of war. It's just a battle.
This is just a single battle.
This is a single battle, and it's boring, and no one dies. No one important dies at all. But Caesar's gonna be a good leader. He's gonna be like
Caesar will go. I think it's funny as well, though, like because I watched like the uncut version of the last film where Caesar goes ape and he's like, I'm gonna kill every human, and he's like, I'm gonna start with this guy right here, and the film ends with him just murdering the chief of police or whatever, and then
Chief Wiggum.
he just murders the piggy, and then he's like, I'm gonna genocide every human, and then the next film, this film starts with Caesar sought out a place where apes and humans could live in harmony.
Yeah, you have the law. What they call him? The lawbringer.
The orangutan chap.
Yeah, the one that's in like the first movie, and it's like, oh yeah, he's like the great law
Yeah.
provider, whatever. He's
Dr.
like,
Zaius.
he's where the scriptures come from, and it's like a big twist at the end. Like, oh, what happens next, lawbringer? It's like, I don't care. This film has not made me care in this whatsoever. Like, this film, the events of this film is told like a parable, like a Bible story.
Yeah.
And like a Bible story. It's fucking mad boring. I don't care.
You don't learn a lot, except that war is bad.
There's not even like cool like tie-ins to like there's that weird shit that they keep doing in this franchise as well, where like if the black character be like, yeah, how are we gonna be free? And he's like, you know what it's like to be free.
Yeah,
It's like, what the fuck is this? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, they have a match cut and stuff. It's
Yeah,
well,
it's weird.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. But yeah, the Lawbringer is there and he's like chatting on about shite. And in the end of the movie, he wraps up the story. He's like, oh yeah, Aldo died. And Caesar like forced him off a tree. He didn't kill him.
You didn't kill him,
So
don't
it's
worry.
kind of the same as Dawn. I'm pretty sure that happened to Dawn where Caesar like just lets Koba fall off a tree.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's not there, something like that. Doesn't he come back in the next one? But
I can't remember.
yeah, anyway. But and then the Lawbringer's like, that's the end of that story. And yeah, so we'll see if things work out.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a sixth movie.
Yeah, he's basically like, we'll see if humans and apes can get along. And there's a statue of Caesar in the background, which is like so badly built, It's like, this society's not going to last that long at all. This is so poorly built. And it's just, the statue starts crying. And then there's a freeze frame at the credits start rolling. It's so good. It's so funny. That's the best part of the movie, probably.
Yeah, the end.
The ending,
The
yeah.
very
When
end
the
of the
credits
film.
start rolling.
And the credits are on the best bit of this movie.
Caesar starts crying, or his statue starts crying.
There's some weird shit as well, because you have like, so Caesar's parents, what was his name? What was Caesar originally called? Milo.
Milo,
Yeah.
yeah, after Dr. Milo.
So the name
Dr. Milo, he just came into the series just to be killed off. With it, like, what was his purpose in the series?
so that the baby could be called Milo and then immediately be called Caesar in the next film.
Yeah.
And play the role of a character that was called Aldo in the same film. And then Cornelius is Caesar's son is Cornelius.
Mm-hmm. But he looks obviously they look the same,
But the actor that played Cornelius is playing Caesar in this film. And there's a bit where Caesar goes into like the nuclear waste city so he can watch like tapes of his parents to see if there's like truths that his parents knew about like the future or whatever. And there's a bit where like Caesar, who is played by the same actor as Cornelius, is watching footage of Cornelius being like, "Oh, my father." It's like, it's you, bro.
that's you, man.
You it's like you look the same because you're wearing the same fucking makeup.
yeah.
And then Caesar's son is then called Cornelius. Man,
Mhm.
the naming conventions in this fucking franchise is a joke.
It's like 100 Years of Solitude. Everyone's
Honestly,
named it. It's all the same. It's
Everyone's
all
named the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Definitely the worst from the franchise.
100%.
How would you rank the original series?
The original series. I'd say one,
Yeah.
obviously, is number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say Escape from the Planet of the Apes
Yes,
3
same.
as number 2. Conquest is number 3. The second is number 4, and then this one is number 5.
I think I'm the same.
'Cause
I'm going to say I am the same because I cannot remember a single thing from that second film at this
The
stage.
Mutant Humans.
The mutant humans.
Charlton Heston, remember he comes in at the end? It's like you had this guy on retainer
oh,
and you
fuck
left
yeah,
him.
he does come back into
You
it.
left him to the end and then he immediately dies.
Oh, I do remember that, yeah. Oh, yeah, and they mind controlled them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I bet, yeah. Okay.
Like, I it's not an amazing
oh,
movie.
yeah, and
but
there's the
remember, we were so
woman.
surprised. It was like, this is actually pretty good.
Mm.
You know?
I don't really remember anything about the movie, but I remember being, yeah. This franchise, I thought every film past the first one was gonna be at the same level as Battle. Really, they're really not.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Battle is definitely the worst one, and it's a shame that this franchise ended on a dud. Probably for the best it ended, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I was I was surprised as well. I thought they'd all kind of be like Battle of the Planet of the Apes, but they're not. They're all pretty good, except for this one. This one's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't really complain about that.
Oh.
You can't complain. Like 5 movies and you got 4 were like well worth watching, I think.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Like, honestly,
Think about it.
Like, that's a pretty good streak. Like, 80% is pretty good.
Oh yeah, 80% hit rate. And now we're jumping forward to 2001.
Yeah,
Or
Tim Burton's
is it
one.
2000? Yeah, Tim Burton's one. That'll be interesting. See how that ranks.
I'm imagining not well.
Not well, I wouldn't say.
No.
No. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll get there.
It could try to get into 4th place.
Yeah, there's a battle for fourth. There's
There's
a battle for like
fourth, yeah.
well, fifth place, I guess. Once
Well, actually, no, yeah, I don't think it could compete with the second one.
no, I think it's battle. This is a battle for the bottom. I have a feeling.
It's battle for relegation.
Yeah, yeah.
See what happens.
Right, let's go for a break.
Let's go.
I got one more film for us to talk about before we get on to our recommended film. It was a film that I previously tried to recommend, thinking that would be easy for us to watch. It was not. It was not available anywhere. However, it's become more available now. In a Violent Nature. This is a 2024 film. Liam, who's been on this podcast a few times, had said to me that this is the most tailor-made Paropod film ever.
Wow.
It's slow, it's plotting, it's subversive, it's subversive, it's a slasher, it's a horror film, it's really gory. It has stuff to say about the genre that it's like analyzing, and also like humanity as a whole. And he's right.
Really?
Bro, this is the most powerful. This is like someone listened to our podcast fucking like 4 years ago when we started this thing.
You'd feel me.
Jesus Christ, 4 years ago.
Yeah. Whoa, that's real.
Yeah, it is real.
That's real.
4 years.
4 years. 4 great years.
Yeah, for great years.
4 great years.
A couple of bad episodes there, but for pretty much
1 or 2 bad episodes.
It was as if someone watched that, like, listened to our things, and like, I'm gonna make a movie for these guys to talk about, because that's what this film is.
Oh, I really want to watch it.
This is this film's plot is something that like everyone has seen like 1,000 million times. It's a slasher movie. A bunch of people go to the wilderness to camp, and they upset an unbeknownst evil, and that evil comes to get them. But the twist is that this film never leaves the perspective of the killer. It is always following the killer.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly always following the killer. There's like 2 points where it doesn't. But it I really, really like this movie. I think this movie is really, really good. It's definitely not for everyone. I've heard it compared to like Skin and Marink, which I really enjoyed last year. And I would also kind of compare it to A Ghost Story. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen it. I've seen bits of it, like clips and stuff.
Yeah, I would kind of compare it to that, just mostly because it's like we're gonna show you something and not cut away at all, and you're gonna watch it. But this film, like the only way that I could described it to someone was, it is subversion,
yeah.
Subversion to the point of amplification. And what I mean by that is it is looking at like horror, like slasher tropes, like really like fucked up gory kills that are from like B movies in like the 70s and 80s that don't have the budget to be like really gruesome. But because this film is being like really realistic quotation marks with that, and being slow and like grungy and gritty about it, it really amplifies the horror. Like I like there's a couple, like the one kill that I think that when I was watching this film that I thought about was in Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. When you have the guy that's like boxing and he's like punching Jason a bunch, and then Jason just like punches him straight in the face, knocking his head off, and his head goes flying and like lands in a bin, and it's like, haha, cool, gory kill, whatever. If you like think about that, if you saw that realistically, he punched his head off. Like in this film, the killer would grab him and punch him repeatedly until his neck snapped, and he gives it one final blow, and the head would fall off. Like that's what this film would do if that happened. And it like looks at like some of the kill, not like similar kills, but like it takes that kind of idea of like, we're gonna take like slasher kills and make them agonizing to watch. There's one kill, and it's the kill from this film that like people talk about, which is where the killer stumbles across a woman and he has like 2 hooks on a chain and he punches through the back of her, like straight through her back into her stomach, turns her around, pulls the hook with the chain through, hooks her right in the forehead, flips her back around, and then pulls the hook with the chain back through the hole that he has made in her stomach. So her neck is like forced down into her stomach and then through the hole. And it goes on for so long because he's like pulling and like it's really slow and like we're sitting here like, you know, this kill goes on for like 3 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
And there's a couple of kills like that in this film. There's one kill where it's again like this like slow kill that you just have to sit and watch, where this guy's like paralyzed and he can't move or anything like that, and the killer like drags him to like this wood chopper thing, and the killer like slams the wood chopper down and like really slowly like chops this piece of wood, and you're like, well, this guy's he's going into that, and he does, and you have to watch it really fucking slowly and the camera never cuts.
Jesus.
And it's like really fucking gruesome and horrifying, but the thing I want to emphasize is like the horror. It is like when you see that you're like, oh fuck, this is horrible, especially because the dude is alive and you're like right beside him like watching this all play out, and just stuff like that. It's like it's also like the acting in this movie is so bad.
Really?
Oh man, some of the acting, like majority of the acting in this movie, outside of the final bit where like there's like a woman who the final girl escapes and she's picked up by a woman and like the woman just gives this monologue, like that acting is really good, but the vast majority of it is like cheesy B movie acting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like in this like, you know, high budget like A24 kind of style. And yeah, it's just like it makes you like he's, you know, going off and killing all these people, but in the in between of him killing all these people, he's just walking through the forest really fucking slowly. And you're just sitting there with him as he walks through this forest really fucking slowly. And the whole thing is that he's trying to get this necklace, and this girl has it, the final girl has it, and there's this like, the way that she stops the killer isn't by fighting him. She just takes the necklace off and runs away.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he just leaves her because he's like, yeah, he's not coming after you. He just wants the necklace back.
Yeah.
What
is it saying?
I just think
what's the point?
The point of the movie, I think, comes in this monologue where this woman picks her up or whatever, and she starts talking about these violent bear attacks. Like there's this thing called like I can't remember what they call it, but like there's like this disease that bears and stuff like on wild animals can get, where they just go on rampages and they just like kill and kill and kill, and they're not even eating what they're killing, they're just killing for the sake of killing. And it's drawing this comparison between nature and this, you know, undead man that is like immortal and just, you know, can kill. But my kind of interpretation of that wasn't that it's comparing like the killer to nature. It's comparing like humans as a whole to that, like this needlessly killing each other for no reason whatsoever. No, like, you know, it's not for it, like in nature, you know, you do it for like food or like, you know, resources and stuff like that. Humans just kill each other all the time for like no reason at all. So I found like this film like kind of comparing like these, like subverting the slasher genre in a way that also like looks at you, the viewer, and like humans as a whole, being like, yeah, we also kill for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And you, the audience, you love watching films about needless killing.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my takeaway from the film.
All right.
But again, like it is like a super slow plotting movie. I only was able to think about this because the film gives you plenty of time to reflect,
to think,
which is like a good thing, I think, in this movie. I think that works in its benefit. And yeah, there's like some like horrifying bits. Some really good scares. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I don't think I want to watch this movie anymore. I might just leave it.
I watched this film as like if this movie wasn't as like super gory as it is,
Mm.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's 2 kills in this movie that was like that's like really fucked up. The hook one and the dude paralyzed one.
Mm.
They were 2 kills like that's really fucked up. The other ones aren't too bad, but
Yeah.
those 2 I was like
Yeah. I don't think I'd enjoy that now. But yeah, it looks good. Well, it looked good anyway. I was gonna watch it, but I don't think I'll watch it now.
I know.
Just based on that.
I think watch it and just fast forward those parts.
Yeah.
Although
maybe.
like these bits are like no, like Evil Dead, like the remake,
Yeah.
way more gory than this film.
Yeah, but it's Evil Dead. Like, it's not going for the realism.
Yeah, but like
You know, it's yeah. I don't know. It's something about the fact that it's trying to be realistic.
if it makes you feel better, there's no screaming.
There's no screaming. That almost makes it worse.
There's no screaming because the girl is dead like almost immediately when she gets punched through the stomach,
Yeah.
and then it's like everything after that is like, well, she's already dead. The dude though, that bit is fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that now. Might leave that.
Fair.
Might leave
Fair.
that one. Yeah, it sounds pretty intense to be honest. But
Yeah, there's like the film does a good like build up because the first kill you don't see. Excuse me, you don't see. He like gets the guy and it cuts, and then it cuts back to him like walking through the forest again, and he just walks past what's happened, and you can just see like the body out of focus, and you're like, that dude doesn't have a face anymore. I don't know what he did to him, but he doesn't have a face. I can't really make out what it is,
yeah,
but he has no face. The way that it tells its story is really interesting because it's just like the the slasher like walking around.
Yeah,
And like people are like talking in the
good, yeah.
background, and you're making out the story from like these snippets of dialogue.
Okay. Yeah.
Now these snippets of dialogue is literally, "Hey Keith, where's the amulet that you found earlier on? I don't know, man, but this slasher dude, he used to." It's stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it sounds interesting, but I think I might leave that.
Not for
But
everyone.
yeah, not for everybody, I'd say. But yeah, it looks good. It sounds like it has something to say about the slasher genre.
Definitely way more to say about the slasher genre than humans as a whole.
Yeah.
This weird comparison that I could make is Terrifier 2 and In a Violent Nature are like slasher movies doing polar opposite things to the point where I nearly see like, I don't know how anyone could make a slasher movie like be authentic, like an authentic slasher movie after Terrifier 2 and this movie. Like Nick Sphere had this video about like this being like the last slasher movie, like how like when something subverts a genre as much as this does,
Yeah.
and like reflects back on it. It's almost like Scream in that way, but like where Scream like reflects back on like horror films and stuff like that. This movie's doing something similar, but like it's
It changes the genre.
it changes the genre. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes me want to watch it again.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't hack it. Can't hack gore in a movie.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
Yeah. But anyway, on to our recommended movie for this week.
Woo woo woo.
So this week we're talking about His House. This isn't really a funny movie, but
Nope. Horror this episode.
a lot of horror. Yeah, this is a horror movie, in fact. A refugee couple makes a harrowing escape from war-torn South Sudan. But then they struggle to adjust to their new life in an English town that has an evil lurking beneath the surface. What could that evil be? Racism?
Racism. The issues
Imperialism?
the issues of being a refugee, of being an asylum seeker.
There's many things. There's a long list there. There's a long L list. Yeah, His House is a 2020 movie. It's available on Netflix.
I've wanted to watch this for ages.
Yeah, I'd only heard of it like fairly recently. It's actually it was yeah, so it's a BBC movie in partnership with a few private companies, and it was distributed by Netflix. I hadn't heard of it now till very recently, but it struck my fancy because it sounded very interesting, and of course it's quite relevant as well.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of refugee stuff going on at the moment. So
serious amount of that. Yeah, Sudan, they're still in bits. God bless them.
Does this movie ever? Because when I was watching this movie last night, I was like, where from Africa are they meant to be from? Does this movie ever say that they're from South Sudan?
I don't know. I don't remember it saying that. No, but
I don't remember either, but all the plot descriptions all say South Sudan, but I don't remember this film ever specifically saying that. Now maybe I missed that at the start, but
yeah, no, I don't think it's like explicitly said, but they're I think what is the Dinka? Yeah, so the Dinka, they're
they speak Dinka.
yeah, so it's South Sudan
Yeah.
apparently. I don't know the language of South Sudan, but Dinka is apparently a language there. It's an ethnic group. But yeah, so they're from South Sudan and they escape on a boat. They escape on a boat and they get across the channel, but they lose someone along the way, and
They lose their daughter.
and it's in the middle of the night, so they can't get to her, and she's just gone. She's in the water, and they arrive in England, and there's the whole process of humiliation. So you can't do this, you can't do that. You get £70 a week for it. I think is it both of them or the pair of them, whatever, or individually.
Both. They
both,
they get £79 together.
Yeah, it's a pittance. Same here. It's like £80 a week, I think, or less.
Just enough to get groceries, basically. That's it.
Yeah.
If even.
Yeah, if even. Yeah, and they get given a place to stay, and then it's basically like, yeah, you can't work, can't do any of this, but just stay there, and we'll process your application. I suppose it's also very bleak.
Especially this fucking English town. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, where are they actually again?
Oh man, they're like somewhere. I don't think they ever mention it because like, where are we? And the guys never respond.
Yeah, they're in some shithole in Britain.
Yeah,
it's outside London. And yeah, it's like the usual thing where they're like struggling to integrate, to be accepted, by the locals. They all kind of have a go at them. There's a piece in. It's kind of like it's a bit into the movie where, the case officer is assigned to
Matt Smith.
Yeah, Matt Smith. He's very good in this movie.
He is
Matt
pretty
Smith.
good.
He's very good. And they're in the office, and they're asking. Ball is the husband, and then Rial is the wife. And Ball's in the office, and he's like talking about the house or whatever, and he has problems with the house, which is a different thing which we haven't addressed yet. But he's like, "Oh, like, I'd like to move." And some other case officer is like, "Oh no, your house is bigger than mine." Like, this is.
You got a palace.
Yeah, and this whole tension where it's just like stuff like that. That's just forgetting the fact that they are basically imprisoned in that house, and they can't do anything, and they basically have no rights.
Yeah, they come over here. They're taking gaffs that are bigger than mine. That's a joke.
Yeah, but
that's a joke.
They can barely leave. They can't work. They can't visit family.
They don't have enough money to do anything.
Yeah, literally anything.
As you said, they can't work. Any form of finding income in any other way gets them deported. They can't have candles in the gaff. They can't have barbecues in the gaff. No fires whatsoever. All these list of rules where it's like you're basically in a detention center.
Yeah.
And the gaff is also a shithole and is falling down.
Yeah, it's like decaying and it has it's in bits, and there's like there's shite everywhere. But strange things start to happen in the gaff. Some weird things.
Very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. As soon as they get there, and they're
immediately the first night.
yeah, and they're like, "What the fuck?" There's like weird things in the walls and stuff. And there's like it becomes very creepy very very quickly. But it's not really like I don't know. It's not a straight horror movie in that it's not. They're more afraid of everything else, or it's clearly they're very influenced by their fear is very much influenced by everything else around them.
Yeah,
the fact that they are where they are and they're in the position that they're in, is clearly influencing events within the house. And there's this whole mystery about what's going on. Like, why are they being haunted by these weird apparitions in the walls, and what's the source of them? And it takes the form of their daughter, and there's another one. It's an old man, is it? An old woman.
A witch.
A witch, yeah. It turns, yeah. So the wife believes it's a witch who's followed them from Sudan, as basically there's a curse on them that they need to repay their debt.
Yeah.
It's not clear what the debt is, and she gets really upset about everything, and she's like, "Fuck this! I just want to leave." She doesn't like being there. Like she's racially abused by the locals and stuff, and it's very bleak for her. So she's like, we should just go home. We should let them deport us. And when the case officers visit the house, she's like, oh yeah, there's a witch in the walls, and my husband's been trying to get rid of it, and that's why he messed up the house. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why are you saying that?
Yeah, you're messing everything up.
Because like to be deported is like basically certain death.
Yeah.
I thought like the thing that you're saying, I thought it was like the idea that like they're not willing to leave the house at night because there is as much danger outside of this house than there is inside of it. Because of where they are. They're in a strange place. It's very rough. There's never a mention of like EDL or like any of that type of stuff in this film, but you can feel it. You know what this film is talking about.
Yeah.
This film is like one of those films where it's like the ghost is trauma.
Yeah.
But it's so on the nose about that because of what it's talking about.
Yeah. Like it's not really like, oh, this house where these poor people who are like living these terrible lives is being haunted by this weird witch. It's like, obviously this is like a manifestation of something. And it does play into like kind of mystical elements as well.
Yeah, this isn't like the Babadook where it's like she's getting over the death of her husband and it's really, really like fucked up and like she can't get over it.
Yeah.
This is like, no. These people are facing political issues and like this country that is like being the good guy here and like housing them isn't being the good guy. It's not helping. In fact, it's kind of making things worse.
Yeah, it's about the things they have to kind of leave behind. And the things that they have to take with them as well. And that's kind of the whole point of the movie, the things that they need to carry with them, and that they're always going to be carrying with them. It becomes apparent about halfway through the movie that it wasn't actually their daughter who drowned in the sea. It was in fact a different girl who Ball had actually abducted.
Just grabbed her
off the street while there was a crowd of people. There was a bus leaving to go to the port or whatever, and to get onto the bus you need to have a child with you. They're only taking like parents and their children, and Ball and Real didn't have a kid, so he just grabbed a kid and hopped onto the bus. And Real ended up like kind of blacking this out and didn't realize until she communed with like the ghosts of people she knew from her old villages that had been slaughtered in the conflicts. And they told her, and they're like, this is the debt that you're being asked to repay by the witch, like the Arpet. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was really that was so dark.
Yeah, because he's like such a nice guy, and it's like, oh my god, like that's so grim. But it's, so it's not like it's not like, oh, like these, it's not a case of like, oh, these pure souls have been victimized. It's very gritty. Well, obviously they're being victimized, but it's like this very gritty kind of portrayal of real life and like real situations and what real people have to carry with them when they go through situations like that, and they need to make those massive sacrifices to reach somewhere that they feel is safe. Like they're not going there because they don't like where they're living. It's like, there's no parks here. There's no, there's the cost of living here is too high.
Their fucking lives.
They're doing everything they can to get to somewhere that they think is better. And, weird things happen along the way. And Ball obviously has this huge trauma, huge regret over what he did, because he abducted this girl and then she died because he took her. He took her with him, and then he wasn't able to save her. And Real just completely blacked it out because it's so traumatic to her. And then obviously at the same time they're dealing with this kind of siege situation where they're in a place that doesn't want them, that's hostile, completely hostile, and they can't do anything. They're trapped with each other and no one else in a house where, that they essentially can't leave because they can't do anything. They can't participate in society in any way.
As much as Ball, and that's another.
He tries, yeah.
As much as Ball tries to integrate, which is like a super cool bit where like he goes like a fucking Primark, and he like a Duns, and he puts on the polo, and he puts on the chinos, and he's looking at the guys like
the white guy,
the white guy like wearing this stuff, and he goes to the pub and he sings songs about Peter Crouch and stuff like that, and then he goes back home, and he's there being like, you need to eat with utensils, you need to eat like like these people do. but she continues wearing like colorful clothes and eating with her hands because that's what she's like. She's not gonna lose her culture. And he's like, no, you have to integrate. We have to leave everything behind from Sudan in order for us to be accepted here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's oh sorry, that's the wrong finger. It's there's like all that stuff that's about, like this, like all the shit that they have to go through in order to be able to live here.
Yeah, like Ball is trying to put on the mask to try to be accepted as much as possible, even though, you know, that's not really being true to himself in any way. Like, he's just trying as much as possible to have a stable life in England, where people, you know, he's put himself out there to people who don't want to associate with him, kind of to begin with, and the only way they will associate with him is if he kind of pretends to be them. And I think that the director was inspired by this. There's a book called The Good Immigrant. I haven't read it now, but it talks about the.
You need to be one of the good ones. Is what they tell Ball.
Yeah. You need to be one of the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Matt Smith says it directly at the start of the movie. You are one of the good ones. Like, you seem like, you know, you could integrate properly in the society, and like integration just means kind of like, you know,
removing everything from being from Africa.
Yeah, destroying yourself essentially, and just becoming part of the crowd. But obviously that leads to your own issues, where you can't just let everything that you've seen go. You can't come from a situation in Sudan or like anywhere like that, and then just
move on.
Just go, just go into a little village outside London and be like, no, I'm going to go to Primark today. I'm going to go support Stoke City. That's probably the worst thing they do to him as well. They put him in a fucking. They put him near Stoke. He needs to go watch a Stoke City match
and sing songs about Peter Crouch.
Yeah, like they humiliate this man.
God bless him.
It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. But so like the immigrants and people like refugees and stuff need to put on this mask and perform this, you know, this pantomime of like, I'm one of you. Yeah. And even that, like, that's not enough either. It's like, you're never going to be one of them, but you have to be one of them if you want to stay in the country. If you don't want to go back to having a gun pointed at your head by some militia or whatever, you have to pretend to be one of us, and you have to do exactly what we say, even though in your head, like, your head's completely different space altogether. It kind of made me think of it. There was some anecdote, I can't remember where I read it, or it was in a book or something like that, talking about after the Rwandan genocide. I think the Americans sent loads of therapists over to do like mass therapy with the locals.
It just didn't work.
It was just, but they're all talking about the therapist, or their approach, the Western approach. Apparently, the approach that they took was like, oh, you need to move on, and you need to, you know, you need to go back and think about how bad all this was, and you know, the genocide is, you know, it was so terrible how they killed all your family, and you know, you need to process this. You need to keep thinking about it. You need to keep you need to keep this in your life at all times. And it didn't really take, because the locals were like this is always going to be with me, and there's no point kind of dwelling on it and like constantly kind of relitigating this trauma that I lived through. Like, it's always going to be there and be part of me, but it's not going to be something that should define me, or should kind of take over my life. I can't pretend to be someone who's over this kind of. And it kind of reminded me in the same way, where it's like Ball and Real are asked to be, I like everyone like that, and all the refugees, they're asked to be someone that they're not, essentially.
Yeah.
And that fucks you up way worse, like in every way, in every conceivable way, because there's always all those, the ghosts, like the literal ghosts in this movie, and the traumas and the stories that they live through, like, they're always going to be there, and that's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
But like, you do have to move on. You have to let go at some point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they do. They process the whole thing by killing the witch. They slit her,
fucking slitting that thing's throat.
They slit her throat.
I thought I think this is a good movie. Thought it was kind of weak ending.
The ending?
Yeah, I thought the ending was kind of weak.
In what way?
Like the bit where they slit the witch's throat, was like, oh yeah, like, okay. And then they're in the house and like, yes, we're all happy here and stuff like that. And like, they're now both wearing colorful colors, so you gotta understand, like, okay, they're keeping their their heritage and their culture with them,
Mm-hmm.
while being able to manage and live here. But I don't know, I just found it kind of a weak ending to the film. It didn't have the punch, because I think that I think this is a scary movie. I think there's like 4 parts in this movie where I didn't like jump or anything like that. Goosebumps just straight up my arm.
Yeah.
This movie where like there's like a do 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 do, and like a ghost or something is chasing or about to jump on ball or something like that. And I just had like the hairs of my arms just raised up. While I was sitting there watching, I was like, this is like, oh, there's some good horror in this movie.
Yeah. Like it does really segue out of, like, the horror is a narrative device by the end of the movie, and that's made very clear.
Yeah.
And it is maybe like a bit saccharine, maybe like the ending. It's like we came to terms with everything,
Everything's fine.
and everything's fine now.
And the ghosts are gone.
Yeah, but I think because I don't think it's really like it's not. It's less a horror movie than it is, like the horror is the life that they live.
Yeah.
But like not we talk about, I don't like the Babadook, and it's like, the horror is a trauma because her husband died or whatever. Who cares? It's like, this is like, it's a totally different thing. It's like it's bigger than that. It's about the community. It's about how they fit into that.
Mm.
And it's about that from the start, and then the house is a representation of that. And the house is represents something. Even the title, like his house, like it's not like it's
not their house.
Yeah, it's like third person. It's like his house. It's not. It's like my house or
our house.
Yeah, it's like an othering of our old ball. Even though he's done some dodgy things in the past.
He's done some pretty bad things.
He's done some pretty bad things. But yeah, I know what you mean. It is kind of a bit. It's a bit kind of flat. It's a bit flat.
Happy ending.
Yeah, but like, what else would they really do?
Yeah.
Go back to Sudan?
Nearly, if I would say, like, I don't know, if like, unless I completely missed it, but like, if they had this like, happy ending, or whatever, but there's still something in the house that they just have to live with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something like that.
Wouldn't get funded by the BBC though.
No, well, I thought this was a good movie.
Yeah,
that was scary. Thought the message, I'm like, yes, this is.
There's a lot of meat to it.
Yeah, a lot of things to think about, and more poignant, and more important shit to talk about than the horror is trauma.
Yeah.
Like stereotype that we're so sick of. This is one of those movies, but it does it in a way that I'm like, because the film and like no stage tries to pretend that the horror isn't trauma. You know what I mean? It's always like, we are talking about these people's past because these people's past is super important to the message of this film.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's perfect.
And it's not like the trauma isn't like, oh, someone bullied me when I was a kid. Who gives a fuck about that?
Yeah.
It's like, and then it's kind of like pulling the rug from underneath you when you think it's actually a horror movie. So actually, it's about this thing that happened to me 10 years ago or something. Okay, fair enough. This is something that encompasses, defines them as people.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I can't escape from at all. It's apparent from the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I think it's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
It's a good movie.
That was a good movie.
It's a good old movie.
Good
His
pick.
house.
Good pick.
His house.
Yes.
There we go.
My recommended film for episode 142 is going to be a found footage film.
Oh.
This movie is on Plex. Do you know what Plex is? Plex.
It's on Poodoo.
Yeah.
It's on Plex.
Plex
It's
is
on GoGo.
Plex is this this website, this like streaming service that I recently found out about. This is a bunch of films that you can just watch on it for free.
I watched his house on like billabong.com or something like that. It just has like every Netflix film. There's no ads or anything.
That's crazy.
It's weird. Or Billabify.
You could also just watch it on Netflix, but whatever.
I don't have Netflix.
My pick is going to be The Devil's Pass. A Devil's Pass?
A Devil's Pass.
Wait, I think it's Devil's Pass. Let me double check this. Devil's Pass. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, wait. Okay, so it's got two names. Devil's Pass or the... What's that thing? Dyatlov?
Dyatlov Pass.
The Dyatlov Pass incident. This is a found footage film about people going to where this like creepy fucking shit happened in real life, and stuff happens again. So this movie's about that story that we talked about before, where like people just went insane and like they were found frozen in the
Great
in the woods.
story.
This is a pretty good found footage film about that. It's got two different names, so the Dyatlov Pass Incident or Devil's Pass, one or the other.
Very good.
Yes, the tagline: history always repeats itself. This film will either be pretty good or complete dog shit. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a found footage film, so at some stage it's gonna be kind of shit.
Yeah. That's guaranteed. But it's such a cool story, though. You know. You know, I hate the people who are like rationalists. You know, the Dyatlov Pass truthers. They're like, oh, it was an avalanche. No, it wasn't. You've no evidence of that.
No,
you can't prove that. There's no proof.
Oh, they just got like frost crazy. Oh no.
Oh, it's actually paradoxical undressing. It's shut up. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Let me imagine something
Let me imagine.
else.
Let me use my imagination. Unlike you.
Yeah. You fucking bitch.
But yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Perfect. Right. Let's leave it at that for episode 141.
Whoa. Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.